Welcome to New Vegas Mod Clinic Part 13. Now in this episode we're going to cover Pip-Boys, specifically handheld Pip-Boys. Now the Pip-Boy in the first two Fallout games and Fallout Tactics was the Pip-Boy 2000, and there were a couple of versions of this, including a handheld one and an arm-mounted one. But in this game we only have one, that's the Pip-Boy 3000, and it's arm-mounted. And whilst I love the thing, it's not exactly the prettiest thing and it's pretty obvious. So, we're going to remove it and replace it with a handheld one. And we're going to start with the Pipboy Radius. Okay, to install this mod, you just download a single file. So download that to your hard drive, wherever you want. Now, installing this mod is actually very, very easy. It's uninstalling it that usually catches people up. But anyway, install it by adding FOMod, and the file you downloaded is called V something or other, which is not a great name. So, overwrite the old file, I've still got one in existence. Go along to Edit Info and delete, change the name to Pipboy Radius. Just so you can find it later if you want to uninstall it. And then activate. And that's it. It's really, really easy. For load order, I'm not sure it matters, but I'm going to put it with my other equipment. Now, your Pip-Boy has now been replaced with the Pip-Boy Radius. When I open it, you'll see a nice little handheld device. Pretty similar in all of the functionality, stats, items, data. It's a little slower responding than the normal Pip-Boy in my opinion. Especially if you go to items and then, I think it was, no sorry, data, quests. I notice a delay there, but on the whole, pretty much just the same speed. You will notice though the screen's at an angle, so if that might bother you. It bothers me a little bit. I'm just one of those obsessive compulsive people. If a picture's slightly off I have to correct it, but it's not the end of the world. Now if I close it, I will show you the reason most people like this mod. As you can see, no Pip-Boy on the arm. Absolutely brilliant. Now, generally speaking, this works perfectly with most armors. All the vanilla armors and most mods that I've tried seem to work perfectly with it. Theoretically, it is possible if someone releases modded armor, it may not be compatible with this mod. It is possible, but I don't think there are that many that suffer this. So, there you go. This Pip-Boy also has some options. If you open it up and go along to the aid section, there is, it's usually at the bottom, oh, it's been registered as food. I'm using Project Nevada and it seems to have registered this as food. There you go, Pip-Boy Radius options. Now this allows me to change the field of vision, or the field of view. It defaults to large, but I can set it to huge. Now I do have to close the Pip-Boy first and then reopen it. But as you can see, I've brought it a lot closer to my face now. And let's change it to tiny. And there you go. Miles away. Very small. Very hard to see. Depends on the size of the monitor you have, I guess, as to what you prefer. And that's it. You will probably have noticed the uninstall mod. If you are going to uninstall this mod, if you decide you want to go back to the old Pip-Boy, you need to click uninstall mod first. So I'll do that now. So it's now, it told me it's prepared for uninstallation. What it's done is it's removed the Pip-Boy, as you can see, and it's also taken off my armor. That has to be done because the armor on your arm needs to be replaced. You click OK. Now your hand is still in front of your face, as you can see, with an invisible Pip-Boy, I guess. So press the Pip-Boy button to close it. There you go. And now you need to save the game. Once the game is saved, you quit the game and uninstall the mod. And just to uninstall the mod is pretty easy. Literally go to your Pipboy Radius file, which I have to find. Where did I put it? Pipboy Radius, and deactivate. And as long as you did the step I showed you earlier, everything is fine now. And once you get back in game, your Pip-Boy 3000 is back as it was. Now you'll notice that the armor has been removed. That's normal. So just put your armor back on. And that's it. It's been uninstalled. Now, if you like the functionality of the Radius and you like the fact that it's not on your arm, but you find it a little bit too modern or not quite, I don't know, not quite Fallout enough, there is an alternative. Welcome to the Pip-Boy 2500. As you can see, it's once again a handheld device, but it is far more, I don't know how you describe this, it's far more Vault-Tech. It's not exactly the same as the Pip-Boy 2000, but it is very much in that style. The graphics up here are very similar to the Pip-Boy 2000, except obviously 2500. The little flickering diodes, the large buttons, the sounds, very much the standard Pip-Boy sounds. It's just generally very nice, very cool, very in lore, and yet still with all the advantages of the Radius. This is actually my favourite Pip-Boy now, bar none. I absolutely adore this. Like the Radius, you can alter the settings. Let me find, there it is. Again, it is food. I'm fairly sure that this mod is built upon the Radius code because it shares literally all of its functionality and features. So exactly the same config. I can change the field of view. Large is the default. I've actually got it on small at the moment. The default of large, you can't quite see the whole Pip-Boy. In actual fact, though, you get a very large window, as you can see. Far more details. Say, for example, if you go to your maps are a lot larger, which is very useful, very nice indeed. And there are actually settings to make it huge. That's even though you don't actually lose any details, because as you can see, the brackets here are the limit of the information. You can still click the data button, but I find it a little disturbing. I find it a little disturbing to have half the Pip-Boy off the edge. But, you know, I mean, it's completely up to you. I actually like this one set on small, even though it's not as big a map. I love the look. I just love the look of this device. I think it suits the game perfectly. Just like the Radius, if you want to uninstall it, you go through the same process. Very similar process. Very easy to uninstall as long as you follow that. And that's it. Another PDA device, but one that's, you know, bigger, tougher, a little bit more in the style of the game. As you can see, no Pip-Boy. Brilliant. One thing you should note when using the Radius is, or the Pip-Boy 2500, when you activate the Pip-Boy with a weapon drawn, you get a very brief animation as if you're changing weapon, and then it opens. Now if you watch the left hand as I press the Pip-Boy key with my weapon drawn, you'll notice the Pip-Boy appears very briefly, and then the Pip-Boy opens. So that's why your pistol is briefly going in and out. What's actually happening is this mod runs a script that equips the Pip-Boy into your hand, and so your weapon seems to change, and then it looks at the Pip-Boy. So don't worry too much about that funny effect. That there is just how it works. That's how it opens. Now the official name for the Pip-Boy 2500 mod is One Familiar Friend, the Pip-Boy 2500 Pip-Boy. And the main file is version 6 currently, which you'll need to download. But also there is an optional file which turns it black, which you can download on top of the other one. You still need the main file. I do not want it to be black, so I'm not going to download that. So add FOMod once the file has downloaded, and activate. For load order, again, I'm putting it with my other equipment. And that's it, that's installed. And that's it for this video. As always, feel free to comment below. If you enjoyed the video, click the thumbs up button. And I hope to see you guys next time. And until then, have fun.
Jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle, as I go riding merrily.